in sales and in pre-sales, there's one thing that you need to know how to do, which is objection handling. Now, some people imagine that this is some kind of dark magic. Basically, I boiled it down to 4 different cases, and the first one is misunderstanding. What I'm selling is actually high technology. It's very complex, and it's very easy for people to misunderstand. I read somewhere in the book that the human brain is peaking at about 39 bits per second of information that is communicated orally. So that's about the maximum encoding speed at which you can actually communicate an idea. Well, that leaves a lot of things that may be unsaid, right? Frankly, that's why you want to have excellent collaterals like the demonstrations, presentations, so it helps communicate the message better. But despite all of your best attempt to be crystal clear, there's always the chance that things are not going to be perceived quite clearly by the audience. And this is where maybe that you will have to handle an objection, which is not really an objection, it's basically the person didn't understand very well. The second situation where you want to do objection handling is basically when you have a client that seems hell-bent on using your technology not necessarily the most efficient way possible. And again, it's a little bit of misunderstanding here. Clients come to you, they want a solution, but they're also proactive. They try to invent what that solution might be. And sometimes the answers that they come up with are not exactly optimal, at least in your eyes. Maybe that they have a good reason to do that, and I talked about that in the previous video, but sometimes there could be something there and sometimes there's not. It's just them not necessarily understanding your technology just like you do because you're the expert, right? So this is another case where you need to clarify things for them. Another type of objection handling is when you give somebody food for thought. It's something that they didn't know before, so basically they're not asking for it, and maybe that they're saying, well, I don't really need it, but in fact you feel that they could actually benefit from what you're about to say. So for example, in my case, I worked at companies where the technology was not well known. So in one case it was, we're talking about static verification. Well, we're trying to define a new product niche. So of course people are not going to understand what it's all about, and they will object, but not necessarily because they object to the objectives that this technology will enable them to achieve, but because they just don't understand that this is possible at all. So you need to give them food for thought, so they start thinking like, well, if I were to use this, maybe that's going to help a lot here. Now, objection handling may also mean that the client is in a situation where they cannot use the solution the way that you envisioned it. So it could be technical, it could be also something that is commercial. So a few times I had to be a bit flexible about, say, payment terms, or maybe like scheduling the project at certain dates rather than others. So this is where it's a little bit more tricky sometimes, because you need to make sure that what the solution that you get in order to bypass that objection is still in your company's best interest, obviously, and works for them. But it's another type of objection handling in my book. What objection handling is not is lying to the client or trying to hypnotize them into buying something that they just don't need. Ultimately, the product or service that you're selling needs to be answering a need, and you need to match that need with a need that they have. So basically doing solution selling. Anything else is malpractice in my book. You don't want to be in a situation where you're sweet talking somebody into a deal and then they find out later that, like you tricked them. That's the best way to earn a very nice reputation in the market. And guess what? Especially in my market right now, in embedded software, we can say that the world is small for us, literally. Yeah,